What if I told you that in March 2021, a Reddit user posted 4 fictional horror stories, and every single one came true over the next 18 months? Not just similar events, exact details, specific locations, even the timing. This isn't coincidence. This is something much darker. Right now, as you're watching this, people are sharing stories online that might be more than just fiction. The account u/prophecy throwaway appeared on March 14, 2021, posted 4 stories to r/no sleep over 48 hours, then vanished completely. No comments, no replies, just 4 terrifying predictions waiting to unfold. And what makes this urgent? Because according to the pattern, if there was a 5th story, we might still be waiting for it to happen. The first story was posted at 3:17 a.m. EST. Titled The Concrete Screams, it described a bridge in a small Midwestern town that would collapse during a summer storm. The user wrote about hearing concrete screaming for 3 nights before it happened. Specific details: a red maintenance truck would be the last vehicle to cross, and the collapse would happen at exactly 11:47 p.m. On July 22, 2021, 4 months later, the Millers Creek Bridge in Ohio collapsed during a thunderstorm. The time? 11:47 p.m. The last vehicle? A red county maintenance truck. But here's where it gets really interesting. The local newspaper reported residents complaining about strange groaning sounds from the bridge for 3 nights prior. But wait, it gets crazier. The second story described a chemical plant fire that would start in the 3rd storage tank from the west gate. The user wrote about green flames that wouldn't extinguish with water and emergency responders finding melted safety gear with no bodies inside. On November 3, 2021, the Dalton chemical plant in Pennsylvania had exactly that, a fire starting in the 3rd storage tank from the west gate. Firefighters reported green-tinted flames and, most chillingly, 3 sets of melted protective gear found near the origin point, with no remains. The plant had been evacuated, so no one should have been there. We'll get to what this means in a moment, but first, the third prediction is where things get truly unexplainable. Posted as When the Lights Go Out in December, it described a cascading power grid failure affecting exactly 47,000 homes across 3 counties. The user specified it would begin with a single transformer exploding near a water tower, and that residents would report blue static crawling up power lines before the blackout. On December 18, 2021, a transformer exploded near the Ridgewater Tower in Virginia. Power failed for, you guessed it, 47,000 homes across 3 counties. Emergency logs show multiple 911 calls about blue electricity on power lines minutes before the failure. But here's the most disturbing part. The Reddit story mentioned people would see shadow figures moving through the darkness. Local police reports show 23 separate calls about dark humanoid shapes seen during the blackout. Now, this 4th prediction is where the story takes its darkest turn. The final post described 5 hikers who would vanish in the Colorado Rockies in April 2022. The user wrote they would find a cave with symbols that shouldn't exist, and that search teams would discover their equipment arranged in a perfect circle, still functioning. On April 7, 2022, 5 experienced hikers disappeared in the San Juan Mountains. Search teams found their campsite exactly as described: equipment in a perfect circle, GPS devices still transmitting, phones charged but abandoned. And the cave? They found it too, carved symbols matching descriptions from the Reddit post. But here's what the user didn't mention in their story. The FBI investigated user prophecy throwaway. They found the account was created using a VPN that routed through 12 different countries, then disappeared completely. But here's the mind-blowing part they never made public. The IP address used to create the account matched one that had been used 3 years earlier to post a completely different set of predictions on a now-deleted forum. Those predictions? A train derailment, a hotel fire, and a museum theft, all of which happened exactly as described. This wasn't a one-time occurrence. This was a pattern. And the most terrifying question isn't how they knew. It's what they're predicting right now that we haven't seen yet. So what do you think? Is user prophecy throwaway someone with impossible foresight, or is there something more supernatural at work? Have you ever come across a story online that later came true in ways that chilled you to the bone? Share your experiences in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you want more terrifying true stories from the darkest corners of the internet, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the next prediction might already be out there, waiting.